Faced with disaster, the first line of defense for industrial and developing countries alike would be to draw on the rapidly diminishing genetic resources surviving in the local livestock of the developing world. But throughout these areas, livestock production systems are changing rapidly to meet the increasing, largely urban, demand for animal foods. In recent decades, millions of poor farmers in the tropics have given up their indigenous resistant animals. Instead, they use pure or crossbreeds based on higher producing types imported from temperate climates. This breed improvement has allowed large numbers of farmers to produce surplus livestock products, raising their incomes above subsistence for the first time. However, there are dangers, such as hardy native livestock traits being diluted by repeated crossbreeding with exotic animals. Although indigenous stock will always be needed as a way of reintroducing these traits, modern pressures mean many traditional keepers can no longer afford traditional animals. Even though maintaining this diversity will help the world to cope with an unpredictable future, useful livestock diversity is being lost. Unlike in the plant world, where wild relatives of major crops still exist, few ancestors of domesticated livestock remain for people to go back to as local breeds disappear.
There are already animals that have been lost, and there will be important things that are lost in the next 5 years and the next 10 years. The key issue is to set some priorities for action so that we can conserve these genetic resources, because once they're lost, we can't really get them again. But we can't do everything. And so the priority setting in terms of what we save will be absolutely critical.
Threats to the survival of diverse livestock breeds also include rapid human population growth, industrialization, urbanization, and resulting pollution. The balance between domesticated animals and their environments is now evaporating in developing as well as industrialized countries.
As the world changes faster and faster, the natural coevolution of animals and their environment is not coping with the change.
These drivers of change have major environmental and social impacts. Unregulated livestock production can cause many problems. These include increased greenhouse gases, overgrazing of marginal lands where there's also growing competition with tree planting and wildlife, and more frequent disease outbreaks in cities. As a result, local drought and disease-resistant livestock breeds, which might help us address global problems, can't cope with the competition.